Hello, everyone. Eddie Gant with Jet Lending here, coming to you live from the Jet Lending Studios down here in Houston, Texas. Today is January the 14th, 2021, and I always put that out there because a lot of people are going to look at this later. I want to talk to you today about some statistical information regarding real estate inventory and real estate sales. Now, the data I'm going to be presenting is for Houston, Texas, but and we do a lot of loans all over Texas, so we're pretty involved in Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, Corpus, Beaumont. Yes, Houston data, but you guys need to just listen to the data if you're in other markets and go find your data. And I highly recommend that you get into a habit of watching the inventory levels and what's going on with sales. I have said for years, I'm almost like a broken record to a lot of you. One of the leading indicators we got is the amount of active inventory for single family homes. It is, and watch the trends. It is that and interest rates, and maybe you can throw employment and population into it as the other leading indicators, but there's almost nothing better than watching these inventory levels. Yesterday, HAR, that stands for Houston Association of Realtors, had their press release for January. There's some really, really good data here that I want to talk to you about. I've got it in front of me. I'm just going to read some of it. I've got it highlighted with my notes. But I'm going to say probably the most important thing, and they've got four different numbers. It varies from end of year to the overall average for the year, but I'm talking about appreciation. I'm talking about the rise in prices for median or average sales price. They're not the same. They are related. But based on whatever data you want to use, it varies from 5.9% to 11.4% of increased in value of single family homes for the year 2020. And that's super important. There are multiple revenue streams when you have a rental property. But when the day is all done, when you own a rental property for a while, nothing puts more money in your pocket than appreciation of property value. 5.9 to 11.4. I won't go into all the details what the differences in those numbers are, but it's basically median versus average, year end versus the total average for the year. So I like to use the conservative side. So let's just use a 6% at the bottom. You know, if you owned a house worth $150,000 a year ago, theoretically, that house is going to be worth about $159,000 today, theoretically. Yeah, you may not put that 9K in your pocket, but today, but you will eventually. That's very important. For those of you that own, let's say you own 10 rental houses with an average of 150,000 in value. So that is, you know, what is 1.5 mil in value, something like that. Maybe I'm off on my number, but a 6% increase there, you know, you're looking at a substantial, probably about $90,000 increase in net worth that you will realize one day when you sell them. Some other things I want to point out here is inventory levels. According to HAR statistics, again, Houston Association of Realtors, that is down from a year ago of 3.2 months of inventory down to 1.9 months of inventory. That's mostly good news. The only bad news there is for us real estate investors, we know it's going to be maybe a little harder to buy them. But the good news is if you buy them, you're going to be able to sell them. 1.9 months of supply, and that says it's the lowest in a long, long time here in Houston, Texas. I know our friends in Dallas and Austin, San Antonio are experiencing the same thing. Interesting note, nationwide in the U.S., it's currently, according to the National Association of Realtors, the current inventory stands at a 2.3 month supply. So that is outstanding information for what we do. Again, maybe just slightly harder to buy them, but if you buy them, you're going to be able to sell them. I think it's good news. Also interesting to note here, the only months in 2020 during COVID that we had a negative sales, meaning it was less sales that month than it was the same month in 2019, was April and May. The numbers went up January, February, March. came down April and May, and then for the rest of the year shot back up. 2020 data outperforming 2019 data. Um, Another interesting note here, in July of 2020, according to Houston Association of Realtors, there were 10,815 single-family houses sold in Houston. 10,815. It was the first month in history that we went 5 digits in sales, meaning over 10,000. Just a huge number. Median prices in Houston currently around 273,000 median price in Houston. Average price 347,000. This is just good stuff. Again, Houston data, my Dallas friends, Austin friends, San Antonio friends, get used to watching this month to month to month. Today in Houston, I looked at it right before I got on camera. There are under 15,000 houses on the market in Houston. That's 14,900. Again, one of the lowest points in history, if not the lowest in recent history. Start watching this. It's the #1 indicator we got. Add to it interest rates, employment and unemployment statistics, and population growth. It's just leading indicators we got. Thank you so much. Here's a teaser. Next week, I'm going to put out a video on calculation of DSCR, debt service coverage ratio. It's used by almost every lender out there to evaluate your lending criteria for rental property. We're going to cover it. I'm going to cover it in detail. I'm going to show you how to calculate it with a 59-cent calculator from Best Buy or wherever you want to get your calculators from. But Eddie Gant, Jet Lending, look forward to seeing everybody. I'm ready for COVID to get over so we can have an event and maybe drink a beverage of your choice. Come see us. Thank you. Info here to reach us is right above my fat bald head. Thank you. Bye now.